So welcome to the class today. Thank you so much for coming. It's really nice to have you. Today's class is going to be about breaking habits. And I think we all need this in some sort of form or degree in our life. Like we could probably think about something that we do habitually that we might want to change up a little bit, or we might want to create a new kind of good feeling habit. So something like the yoga practice can often be seen as like a new or good feeling habit for the body, because it's something that we can create like a routine and come to and find a consistency in the way that we feel. Some other things are like that in our lives too. You know, we have all sorts of things that we do with consistency. Sometimes it's Netflix. Sometimes it's going on a walk or a hike. And sometimes it's, you know, it can literally be anything. It can be our communication patterns with people in our lives. And we have all sorts of habits that we have in our lives. And one of the things that I often do habitually is the right side of the yoga pose all the time first. And we're going to try to just change this up as a kind of a symbolic of wanting to make some sort of change in a positive direction. I know it's just a small thing, like doing the left side of the yoga pose first, but maybe we can take that intention and it's a seed of something bigger. It's going to be planted here and then it grows into something that's bigger and more intentional. So go ahead and press play on the playlist if you're following along, and I'll have that posted for those who are taking the recording. I'm going to press play now so that we're kind of around the same time. You can lay down right on your back to start things off, starting in Shavasana position on the back body. You can let your arms relax and your shoulders sink down. Your head can kind of be like a heavy sinking into your yoga mat on the floor. Rest your eyes and take a deep breath in through the nose. And out through the mouth. Lift the left leg up in the air, lift the left arm up in the air, shake it all around. We're doing this side first today, folks. Lift the right side up, shake it around a little bit too, and we're shaking. Grab the undersides of your legs and rock and roll. If you're comfortable with that, up into a seated position. And then turn your legs to the side. Let's go to the left side. Go palms down on the floor. Come back onto tabletop position on hands and knees. So each palm is underneath the shoulder, and each hip is above each knee, or the knee. Let's take a deep breath in the nose. And exhale through the nose. Press the palms down. Take another deep breath in through the nose. Look forwards a little bit. And exhale, round the spine by pressing the palms down and looking down. Bringing it forwards again, looking forwards, opening up the heart, opening up the stomach. And exhale, rounding the spine back up, tucking the tailbone. We'll come back to a neutral feeling spine right somewhere in the middle and press both of your palms down. And just breathe in that neutral position. Now, without doing a ton of shifting in the palms, I want you just to press your left leg straight back in the air. So pressing back. You might have to readjust the hands a little bit to kind of find equal balance in the palm, so equal weighting. And then try to stabilize in the core muscles of the body. So you're feeling your abdomen tense up just a bit, enough to keep stability in the trunk as you hold your left leg back. Let's take one more breath in. And one more breath out, slowly as you can, lowering that knee to the floor. That's kind of the interesting part, actually. When we do this slowly, we can feel the muscles responding to what's happening. And it's actually quite challenging for some of us to do that. So let's press the right leg back down. So this type of movement is when we are like releasing this extension back down to the floor. It's what's called eccentric contraction. So the muscle's actually getting a little bit shorter as it's lowering the body or the leg down towards the floor. Or sorry, not shorter. It's kind of like slackening, but it's not contracting. It's just having to go from an extended position, like a long position, into a more kind of shortened position. And that is challenging for some of us to do slowly. So this is, when you see people that kind of stomp down staircases without any rhyme or reason, it's because the muscles are maybe too lazy to control the movement down the stairs. So let's slowly as we can lower this right knee to the floor. Feel it all. Right knee coming down. Notice in the hip. Notice in the core how it's responding. The knee is almost to the floor, and now it's down. Nice job. Let's curl the toes under, lift both knees to a hover off the floor. So knees are just an inch or two. Take a deep breath in the nose. And exhale, downward dog, and then walk to the top of the mat in your own pace and timing. When you're ready, just coming up to standing. Awesome. Let's roll the shoulders, relax the arms and the spine. And bring the hands together in front of the heart center. Take a deep breath in. And breathe out, press the palms and arms down, look down at the knuckles. Inhale through the nose, reach your arms forwards, look at the knuckles, look all the way up. And then palms together, exhale, sliding the hands down the center, interlacing past the center, pressing down. Let's do 2 or 3 more of these moving breaths. In and out. Your timing, your pacing. So I want you to do 1 more of those. Those long breaths in and then long breaths out. And then we're going to meet hands together in front of the heart center, standing tall on both the feet. We're going to stand on our right leg, turning the left leg out to the side of the room and sliding that left foot up to the inside edge of the standing leg. It can be anywhere on the inside edge, the calf muscle, the inner knee, the upper thigh. I've heard people say things before like, don't put your foot on your inside knee, but that's only really applicable if the person that's putting the foot on the inside of the knee is pushing really, really hard to the side. But actually, it can be a nice position to put the foot, especially if we use the posting leg to push back in to that foot. So it's actually just a reminder to re-engage back in with our posting leg and hug to center. Let's move that knee forwards and lower the foot down to the floor. Let's try it on the opposite side. So we're going to take the right knee out, right side. Slide the foot up to the inner leg, hands to heart center. Foot can be anywhere, lower down, up higher. I like the foot on the inside edge of the knee a little bit, or the inside of the calf muscle. It's kind of like putting an avocado back together with its pit. The foot just kind of, it belongs, maybe it belongs there, kind of hugged against that position. Let's move the knee forwards with the breath in and lower the foot with a breath out. Reach up with both of your arms, inhale, look up, and then relax the gaze back forwards. Neutral neck, neutral spine. Step your feet together. The feet might touch, the big toes may come together. Interlace the hands above your head. Pointer fingers, though, are going to stay pointing up. Let's go up and over to our left-hand side. Stretching open this right-hand side. So between the hip and the armpit, we're getting that lengthened sensation, that stretching sensation into the abdomen. We also have these muscles between the rib cage, intercostal muscles. They're helping us breathe. The side bend expands some of those muscles and helps you take a deeper breath in. Let's rise back up to the center and try it on the opposite side. So up and over to your right. Different hand position could be right hand on hip, left hand up and over to the side. Use the strength of your legs to stay stable if you can. So thighs and bum squeeze just a little bit. Feel that stabilize the whole position by pressing down. Let's rise back up to the center. Arms go forwards. Step your feet apart. Squat your hips and bum down and back. So the hard part for me about remembering to do the left side first all the time, or in this class, is coming to a posture like this. So it's, we're asymmetrical, or sorry, it's not asymmetrical. We're in a symmetrical shape, our body. We don't have to do it on both sides, right? We're just here for one pose. And I think that can be kind of symbolic of like when in your life you're trying to make that change or that shift to maybe a different path or different habit, different choice. And then it's sometimes easy to forget about that when you fall back into what your habit was before. And so when we're in this position, this symmetrical posture, we might just remind ourselves thinking left side first, intention. Reminder to be present with this experience. If I can be present with this experience, I can be present with other experiences, right? It's kind of where I take it in my brain. Take one more breath in. Breath out, rise up. Nice job. Relax the arms for a second. Take a really good feeling position in your feet. So it's just like, you're standing nice and tall. Not too wide, not too narrow. Lift the heels up. Arms stick forwards, bending the knees forwards, squatting down and back with the hips. I'm going to do this with my feet on the ground today, but you feel free to lift those heels up as high as you want to as your hips and bum squat down and back. Here for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Rise, root the feet, rise up, and lower the heels down, lower the arms down. Step your feet back together. Intentionally right here, present with the breath. Take a breath in. Take a breath out. Let's reach our arms up with a big sweeping circle. Breathe in. Sweep your left arm underneath your right arm. Give yourself a hug. Squat and bend the knees. Lift the left leg over the right leg. Squeeze your inner thigh muscles together. Squeeze the elbows. And you can even round the upper spine by pressing the elbows forwards and create a bit of space between the shoulder blades. I really love the sensation kind of opening up right between the mid shoulder, the back area. My brain was like, right side under, left side under, right side under, no, left side under. Let's do one more breath in. And a breath out, step the left foot down, reach your arms up, breathe in, look up. Take your right arm underneath your left arm, bear hug. Squat, bend the knees, lift your right leg over your left leg, and give your thighs a squeeze in your legs down below as well. So if you can squeeze the calf against the shin, good. If the foot wraps behind the calf muscle, I don't know, personally, it just doesn't work for me. If I go to wrap my foot around my calf muscle, there's almost no engagement, because to do that, I had to kind of add a lot of torsion into the body. So for me, I usually just kind of stop where it stops with neutral hips, right? So not janking it, moving it, just kind of finding that squeeze to center. Let's take one more breath in. Breath out, right foot down, Arms sweep up, big circle. Hands to heart center, breathe it out. Let's take a deep breath in, roll the shoulders up. And down and back. One more, shoulders forwards up. Down and back. Hands together at heart, bend the knees and squat your bum down. Let's rotate our spine, left side down, right side up. I just went right into the complete opposite of what I just said. But we're here, we're present, that's what matters. So left side down, right side up. Press those palms, squeeze those legs. You got this. Take a breath in. And exhale. Another breath in. And exhale. One more breath in. Back to center. Reach up, rise up, look for the sky. Hands to heart center. You didn't see the sky, you just saw your ceiling. Hands back to heart, squat down. Look the opposite direction. Twist the right side down, left side up. Press your palms. Concentrate on your breathing. Inhale. And exhale. Each is through the nose, in and out. I want you just to take one more breath in, and when you breathe out, come back to center. Reach up, rise up, look for the ceiling. Swing your arms back and put your hands on your bum. Once your hands are on your bum, we're going to do a standing back bend. So we're drawing the elbows closer together behind the spine. And we want to be engaged downwards. How do we do this? We want to squeeze bum and thighs. So the bum muscles squeeze together, thigh muscles engage, lifting kneecaps up. And then from there, we start to lift up through the spine and heart. Like your spine is like a tree and the sun is just behind you. You got to grow up towards this tree, up and back towards the sun there. And then rise back up all the way. Release the hands from your hips. Nice work. Let's come up to the top of the yoga mat. Once we're at the top, we're just going to do a little thing that I like before going into runner's lunge, just shifting side to side, right foot, left foot. And you're going to spend just a moment balancing on each foot. So just on the left foot for a second, on the right foot for a second. Left foot for a second, right foot for a second. If we could do this forever, like not forever, like do it forever in our life, but I mean like do it forever as we age and get older in our lives. Like not forevermore. But if we could do this when we're 95, what a gift, right? We have this ability to just do this simple thing. So keeping connected, let's step the left leg back for a runner's lunge. Left leg swings back, toe plants down, swing those arms back next to the hips. You got this. Show up for your breathing in and out through the nostrils. Part of the reason that I'm on the yoga mat is so that I can keep being in these dynamic shapes in my body for the whole time of my life. Not to necessarily achieve handstand or full splits, but I'm doing this so that I can stand up and sit down on my own, for the most part. Obviously, I acknowledge that things happen. But let's take one more breath in and reach for the ceiling, representing how we can move our bodies. Bring our hands down to the floor. Step forwards, top of the mat, hands to shins, inhale, lifting the spine up, and then standing back up all the way to the shifting, right and left, right, left. Eventually, when we're standing on the left foot, we're going to step that right leg back. So right leg going back, planting toe, extending arms back next to the hips. You got it. Strong leg and bum to support the back body, actually. This can really help if we're not engaging in that leg and bum. Usually the pressure gets put into the low back. If we can squeeze those areas, engage the core, we get a really nice stability in the connection across pelvis. And then we can stabilize and breathe. Notice your breathing has maybe shifted from the beginning of class. Let's reach our arms up on our next breath in. And then bring the hands to the floor. Hands down. I love the feeling of the opening in the hip when I reach up like that. Let's step forwards and come back up to standing all the way up. If you're like me and wore socks to class, it's a good time to pop them off. Body warming up as we do these practices, right? It's what a lovely feeling we can do to create this sensation in the body. Let's be on our left foot and then right foot. I almost just guided you into the wrong side. Let's step the left leg back, heel toe the left leg back into warrior two. I got to confess to you that with that one. Arms level off to the floor, lunge forwards. Press back through the heel, pull forwards through the back toe, and hold the lunge. If it's too far stretched back, then don't go so far. Just shorten it up. Right, we can remove ourselves from things that don't feel good, whether it's a yoga pose or a situation elsewhere in our lives. We can change it up to find comfort and balance. Let's take one more breath in. Pivot the palms, move the right arm down, left arm up, bent leg triangle. Breathe in. Breathe out. Take another breath in and out. Last one. Warrior two, rising back up. Hands to hips, straighten your lunging leg. So both legs are now straight. And we're going to heel toe the back leg in. So we're just going to do this at our own pace, whatever works. And then step it forwards. Awesome. All right, standing on the left leg, stepping your right leg back, heel toeing back until your foot's into that warrior position. So it's wider. The foot is turned more sideways-ish, and the arms can level off to the floor. If you weren't around when I was teaching the hips workshop months ago, like months and months ago now, maybe I should redo it soon. The hips don't need to face sideways. They can kind of be forwards, actually, like on an angle. This is an awesome realization for a lot of yoga students, because some people have the expectation in their practice that they need to turn everything sideways and then open up in the hip and leg. But that's really demanding on some people's joints to a point where it actually doesn't do anything good for them. So we just want to be realistic. Let's do bent leg triangle, left arm down, right arm up. Press the arm and thigh together a little bit and keep lunging that leg forwards if you've got the ability to do so. Take a breath in. And a breath out, press hand into thigh, thigh into hand. Again, in. And out the nose. Let's rise back up to warrior two. Put the hands on the hips, straighten the left leg, bring the back leg in, just heel toe. heel toe, keep going, and step it forwards, the top. Nice work. Come back to about the middle of your yoga mat. So you've got space to be right here. Roll the shoulders a few times, shake out where you need to. Stand on the right leg again and take our left leg back. We'll do a set of a few postures. Left leg back. Toppling tree. Kick and extend that left leg back as hard as you can through that quadricep engagement. So you're trying to straighten out the leg. Some people, their leg is kind of bent like this. If that's the case for you, that's okay. Just put no judgment, right? Just put your toe on the floor and then try to press the leg straight. It's usually easier. Once you've got that, then lift the leg off the floor. You'll nail it there, I swear. Let's come about halfway out of this posture and put the toe right down on the floor like I had explained. And now we're going to go for dancer's pose. So left arm reaches back, right arm reaches up. Kick the left foot back to your bum, grab hold of the foot with the hand and kick it back. Reach it forward through the arm. You got this. Take 3 breaths, concentrating on the breath in and out. Let's begin. Inhale. And exhale. In. Out. In. And out. Let's rise back up. Inhale. Foot to the floor. Nice work. If your right foot feels a little fatigued in the muscles, like almost like it burns a little bit, it's normal. Don't worry. Stand on the left foot. Let's take the right leg back. You can try this first. So the toe on the floor extending back so the leg is straightening, and then the arms can swing back, and you can begin to lift that right leg off the floor. Sometimes I like to put my right palm just above my butt on the bum there. See if the glute's working to keep the leg lifted. If it's not, usually the leg's kind of dipping down like this. And it's usually the bum that's actually the cause of not extending the leg very well for people. So we need to kind of use the bum to be able to hold the leg back. Right, let's move into dancer's pose. So come halfway out, toe on the floor, left arm up, right arm back. Kick your right heel to your hand and then press your foot back and reach your arm up. And let's take those 3 mindful breaths in and out through the nostrils on my cue. All right, so let's take that breath in and the breath out. Breath in and out. One more. And out. Inhale, rise back up. Nice work. Lower that foot to the floor. Relax both arms. And just find like natural movement. No need to be so still. And that's kind of something that I remember in a lot of yoga classes in like mid Shavasana and stuff like that, or just before we sit down and stuff. There's like this, like a rigidity that sometimes would come over. Maybe it's because it's so structured in some of those spaces. And this is less so, right? You tuned in when you wanted to. You could come late if you want to. You could come halfway through class. You could lay down on your couch and have a bag of chips right now. It would be fine. You know, it's to each their own. And I think that also brings a lovely ownership to the yoga practice. It's just, here I am because I want to be here. And we can move freely. We can find just whatever it is, just let it go in the body where it needs to go. If you have to dance, if you have to cry, if you have to moan or sigh, it's all good. Sounds like a Dr. Seuss poem. If you have to dance, if you have to cry, if you have to moan, if you have to sigh, it's all good. Let's lay down on our backs and come down for a bit of rest now. Grab a sip of water if you need it. And relax your whole body as much as it's willing. The head, shoulders, arms, and the legs. Hips, stomach, and the back. The head, shoulders, arms, and the legs. The hips, the stomach, and the back. The head relaxes, the shoulders relax, arms relax, the legs relax, the hips, the stomach, and the whole back. Fill up the body with breath. Release it. Fill up the body with breath again. And release it again. Make some noise out the mouth. Let's try it again if you missed it. A deep breath in and a nice noisy sigh out the mouth. Let's draw our left knee into our chest. Grab behind the hamstring and hug into the chest. Allow the breath to move the stomach into the thigh slightly. So we're taking a kind of inflating breath into the belly. And then breathing out, pulling in. Pulling in with the hands, stretching the hip and the thigh. Another deep breath in, belly rises into the thigh. And exhale, pulling in. Let's go to the opposite leg. Just let the legs pass by each other like ships in the night. Hug the right leg in, left leg extends out. Pull that leg in with those arms of yours, getting that groin or hip stretch, whatever you're kind of searching for. It's kind of like a two-parter, right? Most people are kind of exploring, and we can just explore right or left with this leg, like let it go this way or that way, and just feel where the stretch moves into the hip region. Find that space. Maybe stay for a while. Breathe in. And out. Take one more breath in and out the nose, just like that. Letting the belly expand into the thigh and then hugging the thigh in. Now let's let go of the right leg, put the foot down on the floor.
Bend both of your knees. So now both feet are on the ground. We're going to stack the left ankle on top of the right thigh, and then we're going to draw the thighs into the chest. So this package of the legs that we've kind of built, this kind of just stays the same actually. And we pull this package in towards the body. So just the whole unit comes in, and our left arm reaches through the gap of the legs. We grab behind the right leg, and then hug in. We're stretching the left side bum. Sometimes I would see people a lot of the times dipping over to the left or the right in this posture. Let's try to find a good place to put the hips for the stretch. So what I mean by that is, like, be mindful about that. Is it more left or right with the weight distribution in the pelvis? Where do you find a nice stretch for the left side bum? And let's go to the opposite side. So just uncrossing in midair if you want to, and recrossing. Or if you want to put the leg back down on the floor, that's awesome. And then once you've got that grip, the hands are just behind the left leg. We've swapped sides. Stretching the right side bum. This pose is so great for computer work, right? When you're doing a lot of computer work, sitting at the desk for a long period of time, the bum can get kind of like very unused, essentially. And when it's unused, the stretch can feel really nice because the muscles become tight when they're not used that much. So that kind of brings up something that I'm really kind of quite passionate about. Sometimes people think that the stretch that they're feeling is because they've used their muscles so much that they're so tight. The muscle's so tight because I'm using this muscle so much in my work or this or that, and that's creating the tension in my muscle. So I must have to stretch it out. And it can help some of us, but we need a joint practice of also engaging the muscle, because sometimes it's actually the opposite thing. Like sitting at a computer, the bum gets weak, gets bad at doing its job. When it gets bad at doing its job, it gets tight. When it gets tight, it feels good to stretch it, but never actually fixes the tightness, right? It never goes to the root of the tightness, which is the sedentary nature of the glute muscle. All right, let's go to the foot back to the floor, right foot down on the ground. Feet walk in. Let's do a few sit-ups, few crunches. Hands go behind the head or beside the ears. Take a deep breath in the nose, filling up the body. And a long breath out the nose as you do a crunch, lifting your chest off the floor just as much as you want to. Go back down. And back up. 3 more. Down. And up. Last 2. And up. Nice job. Rest down on the ground, relax your head. Put your feet nice and close towards the bum, and now lift the hips up off the ground. So hips are rising up. We're gonna roll our shoulders underneath the spine, then our arms underneath the hips, hands hold together. Press down with the pinky edges of your arms, engage those triceps. And then I want you to press down and pull in with the heels. So we're using the hamstrings. Front of the foot pushes down as well. Thighs lift up a little bit. Take one more breath in, stretch out the hip flexors and the stomach. And exhale, let's float back down to the floor. Let's lift our knees up, going to happy baby. Lift feet up, grab the outside edges of the feet, feel the groin stretching a little bit deeper. letting the belly rise up and down in this happy baby. Deepens the stretch quite a lot. So we feel that groin muscle kind of open up as a result of breathing. And then let's relax the legs. And just tent the knees in, feet walk out, relax for just a moment. So one of the amazing things about yoga is it contains engaging positions. We don't always have to do the fitness class. We can come to a yoga practice with the intention of being engaging in our muscles and not always taking the hyper elongated approach to stretching. And then our yoga practice can be a wonderful union, which is actually what the word yoga means, or a translation of it, a union of engagement and relaxation, of using the muscle to keep the body supported and then stretching the muscle because it can feel so nice. Let's rock and roll up into a seated position. So grabbing the backs of the hamstrings, rocking knees up and come up into seated. You're going to turn the legs to the left, bring the palms down, bring the knees back into tabletop position again. We're going to do a few rounds of flow. All right, so I will guide and demonstrate the first 2 rounds, and then I'm going to do something just a little bit different. So toes curl under, hips lift up into the air, into down dog. Inhale forwards, high plank. Exhale, knees down, chest and belly down. Baby cobra, lift your heart up. Exhale, lower the heart. Hand and knee press up. Shift hips back, lift hips up, down dog. Next, high plank. Inhale. Low plank, exhale. Upward dog or baby cobra. Again, lift the heart, thighs off the floor, hover. Downward dog, hips back up. All right, I want you to go through 3 more of those, or find any kind of movement that your body is happy with, whatever feels naturally good for the body. So I'm going to do a very modified flow. Starts in child's pose, comes forwards to hand and knee plank, lowers down. Heart, baby cobra. Shift heart down, press back up, back to child's pose, but a little bit active. You might continue just finishing off that last one. This version of the vinyasa that I'm showing you right now, or that I was guiding you through, is so great if you are having a hard time doing the other style of practice for any reason. And I'm actually experiencing that in my own body for a number of different things. And, learning about modifications is so important. So you can always reach out to me if you need any modifications for your practice, because I've had to work with a few of them. So let's go back into a kneeling position at the top of the mat. So you're going to come all the way up on those knees, stand up on them, and put the hands onto the butt. Draw your elbows together behind your spine, and then lift and spread the front of the body open through the stomach, through the rib cage, through the chest, and even the armpits a little bit. Use the glute muscles, squeeze the left one, squeeze the right one, and use them to stay stable. One more breath in, and out, rising up. Come to tabletop. Let's go to pigeon from tabletop. Walk at the left knee forwards, swivel the shin underneath the pelvis. So now the left shin is angled from the left hand down in front of the right thigh. Now the right leg is going to relax. It can walk back if that's comfortable. And then we can come down onto the elbows if that's comfortable.
And we should be feeling the stretch in the left side butt, just kind of similar to our thread the needle pose that we just did a moment ago. Just like your thread the needle, your breathing can help you get into the posture, help you process what you're feeling. So take a deep breath in the nose and out through the nose. Check in with how it feels in the hip. And remember that you can always move out of things in your life that don't feel good. It's not an invitation to give up, but to check in. Well, let's come to tabletop, back onto each hand, and then back onto each knee from here. So we're just going to walk this back knee in. That's usually my method. It shortens the posture, makes it easier to come back to tabletop. Let's walk the right knee up, swivel the shin on an angle, relax the left leg back, relax the arms down, elbows on the floor. See if you can feel that stretch in the right side bum muscle. We can also pay attention to the weight distribution left and right in the pelvis. It can change our stretch drastically. Play with it. See what it feels like. Just move the hips to the left a bit, to move the hips to the right a bit. Change up your habit. If you always do it one way, maybe shift a little with some curiosity. And let's come back onto hands. So we're replacing elbows with palms, push down, come up onto those hands. Walk your left knee in a step or two, come back to tabletop position. Nice work. Let's sit back onto the bum, legs straight forwards in front of you. Reach up with both arms, take an inhale. Exhale, dive to your feet all the way. If you can't reach your feet, that's okay, not a problem. Grab the ankles, put your hands beside the ankles or underneath of the calf muscles. You want to feel the stretch in the back of the legs. Secondary, in the back of the spinal area. Let the head hang down. Primary stretch though, hamstrings. Focus on that first. And then from there, you can maybe start to fold it forwards. And usually for me, if I am connected to the hamstring stretch, I can actually take it a little further while getting that stretch into the back body as well. Let's come back up, rising. Hug the left leg into the chest. Cross the legs. So now your left foot is to the outside edge of your right knee or thigh. Place your left hand behind your spine and wrap your right arm around the knee and twist. Rotate the spine, look back, open the head and neck area with that breath and twist. You can feel it moving up into the base of the skull in the head. Let's turn our bodies back to the center with an inhale and an exhale coming back. Uncross those legs. Recross, right leg comes in, it crosses over. It's just to the outside edge of the left leg. Our right hand is going to stay just beside us or behind our hip area. We're going to reach up with an inhale, look up, and then wrap the arm around the leg, twisting and rotating the spine, looking back over the shoulder, squeezing the legs together can help stabilize the pelvis. Try it. And come back to center. Uncross the legs from each other. Place the soles of your feet together. Lean forwards or lean back. You could do either or. I'm going to come forwards. The head hang down over the feet. Stretching in the inner hips and thighs. Stretching up the back of the spine, behind the neck. Your head can even hang down like a water droplet about to fall off of a leaf or something. Slowly rise up, slowly and surely, no rush. Close your legs up together. Give yourself a nice little hug around your legs. Let your forehead rest on top of the knees. Thank you so much for coming to your yoga mat tonight. Let's lay down for the final moment of resting together. I believe this posture to be an integral part of the yoga practice. A pose that helps wrap up our intention, help show up for a meditative state of mind. And if you're not comfortable laying on your back, sit in a chair, sit in meditation, on a cushion, on a bench. Anything that allows you to remain present in the mind and thoughts for the next 5 minutes. I'm going to lay down on my back and enjoy Shavasana. So let's do that. Let your breath relax. Meaning, don't worry so much about the length or depth of the breathing. Just relax your breathing. Let your whole body relax. Your head is heavy. Your shoulders are heavy. Your arms are heavy. Your feet are heavy.
Your legs are heavy. Your hips are heavy and relaxed. The spine, and back up to the head, fully relaxed. Almost like decomposing. It's kind of how I envision Shavasana sometimes personally, is this just sinking down and decomposing. Thank you so much for joining the class today. It's such a pleasure to have you here, and to have such a full house in the live session tonight. This puts a smile on my face to see you here. Welcome back to a few of you who've been, vacationing or away for a little bit. So it's really good to have you back. If you have any questions or anything like that, don't hesitate to ask, or save them on up for a private lesson. And you can just contact me and we can just meet for 10, 15, 20 minutes together and talk about what you have questions about. And carry this seed, plant it into an intention to grow into a change of habit, maybe the turning of a new leaf, of whatever it might be for you. Anything. The way that you treat yourself. It could be so simple, but it could also be quite intense or complicated as we bring these types of intentions through our lives. So thank you so much for joining and for trying and for moving through the asana, physical movements, and also the intentional movements that we make in our mind. Take care. Namaste. I'll see you tomorrow in the evening time for the fitness flow.